Okay, Computer Gaming Addicts Anonymous is a fellowship of people who support each other in recovering from the problems resulting from excessive game playing. CGAA is not affiliated with any political agenda, religion, or outside interests. Our single purpose is to abstain from gaming and to help others find freedom from the effects of gaming addiction. We have no membership requirements beyond the desire to stop gaming. Our groups share their collective experience and the principles that help them. Each of us is free to try out or disregard the suggestions of the program and of other members. We have no professionals and no affiliation with any professional or government services. Our groups are financed by voluntary contributions from members and accept no outside funding.
I'm glad to be here today, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to speak and to be part of this fellowship. Yeah, it's really been great. So I'm going to focus today on what it was like, what my gaming was like, and talk a little bit about what things have been like since I came to CGAA just a few months ago. So I started gaming when I was young, maybe 9 years old. I grew up in a fairly normal family. We had problems, of course. My brother and I would play video games to sort of escape some of the family problems, let's say, and some of just our own problems. My brother is the one who introduced me to gaming in the beginning. And in the beginning, I liked gaming. I was a very imaginative child, and something about gaming captured my imagination. You know, the fighting, or it was very colorful, and the stories. I remember actually, you know, I would fall in love with these video game characters, and some of these games would prompt me for making a decision about, you know, the love life in the game, and I would agonize over that decision because, you know, I was in love with these pixelated characters. So that's how my gaming started. It wasn't a problem then, but it was a part of my life that I really liked. Unlike unlike a lot of my life at the time, which I didn't like school. But I did have a pretty good social life. When I would socialize, I would do a lot of gaming. That was just the people that I hung out with, and that's what we liked to do. But I wasn't quite obsessed at that point. Until it seems around as I got older, my obsessive personality got worse and worse. And I don't know what age, but I had something happen to me. I think this is relevant to my personality, but I got scared one night after watching the movie Aladdin. I just moved. I was probably in the 4th grade, and I started playing this game with myself compulsively, where I'd tell myself, I wish I was dead. And then I would have to tell myself, I wish I hadn't said that in my head. And this was all mental. So I had this compulsion or this obsession with saying that and then having to reverse it. And I would wish and then I would unwish. And I was totally consumed with that, probably for about a year. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I felt totally isolated from my family. And I sort of lost my innocence in that way. Someone, you know, described it to me like submerged in a glass bath of ice water, and having to hear and see the world from underneath that water. That's what it was like being obsessed. So that obsession eventually stopped, but transferred to gaming, and other things. But um, gaming. And yeah, I started playing a game with my brother. We would compete, and I could not stop thinking about this game. Just nonstop. I wasn't able to sleep because I had the images of this game running through my head, the colors, the different things that I could do with the game, different strategies, pressing the buttons, combinations of button presses. And I used to think to myself, if I was ever in a situation where I was being tortured to get some kind of information out of me, I'd always be able to I'd always be able to think about this game and totally numb myself out. Because when I was thinking about that game, it was totally consuming. I didn't feel anything. I didn't care about anything. Um, so it was like, I guess, a double-edged sword. Because yes, I could escape my problems, and it sometimes felt good to think about my game. But it was also, I was thinking about it when I didn't want to think. I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't focus on anything else. So yeah, I would do things like, break my gaming CDs or uninstall. This was, this was fairly early in my gaming career. I'd uninstall all my games or destroy them, or I'd swear off gaming because I was so frustrated and I felt like I didn't have control over myself because I wanted to be doing other things with time and I didn't want to be obsessed. And I was ashamed of being obsessed with gaming because gaming wasn't cool. So I was ashamed of it. So I attempted those different ways of quitting, but I was unsuccessful. I could stop for a time, maybe, but I would go back to gaming. And I remember after, say, uninstalling all my games, I would go back and after stopping for a while, I'd start gaming again and spending this time trying to figure out what game I was going to play and trying all these different games, and nothing could capture that magic for me of what it used to be like. And I don't know if it was ever like that, really. Reflecting on it in preparation for this talk, I was thinking about all times that I gamed, and in some sense, I felt like a mourning for the fun that I had, and I've given that up now. But what I realized is that I lost that magical feeling that gaming gave me a long time ago. Long before I quit gaming, I lost that feeling. I might enjoy gaming for a short time, but I could never get that satisfaction out of it anymore. Anyway, so I went to college. I gamed some in college. I lived in my freshman dorm. There were some other gamers there, but it was interesting because my gaming didn't bring me closer to anybody. It really isolated me because just my attitude towards gaming was different. And it wasn't so much just that I played more than they did. It was like my attitude towards it was different. They were more casual. They were more interested in having fun, and I was more interested in being the best or conquering the world of the game or just doing things exactly right. And they would want to play different types of games. And I wanted to play one game over and over and over and over. Um, so it didn't bring me closer to anybody. And, I just play my game. Um, and then I discovered some other things, drugs and alcohol, and a person. And those kind of derailed me from gaming for a while. And, I would be so drunk that I couldn't game. Um, I would be drunk enough that I could socialize and didn't want to game, or whatever. It wasn't until that stuff stopped working and I became ready to game again. Um, I was just very depressed, and drugs and alcohol wasn't enough for me at the time. So I started gaming again. Not that I'd ever completely stopped, but I started gaming, and I played an online game this time, which was a first for me. To have the trading and the competition, and I'd always been into the competitive games, but to have the competition immediately available to me online was something new. I had always had to, wait to go over to my friend's house or wait for my brother to come home for me to be able to play against someone. And I resented the hell out of my friends and my brother because they weren't always immediately accessible for me to play in the way that I wanted to. So going online was different, and I got totally consumed by that game, and that made my life unmanageable. I lost the job that I had because I would just game. I would, I was supposed to work, and I played video games, so I lost that job.